For decades, the Hawk trainer has been a mainstay of British military aviation, allowing the Royal Air Force to prepare future fighter pilots while delighting airshow audiences with its iconic red arrows. But age and rising costs have turned the Hawk into a looming problem. The T1 model that powers the red arrows is nearing the end of its service life, and the newer T2 is plagued by maintenance and reliability issues. Unless a replacement is found soon, Britain risks leaving its world-renowned aerobatic team facing an uncertain future, or even sending aspiring fast jet pilots abroad for training. Enter Aeralis, a British aerospace startup with a bold plan to replace the Hawk using a new aircraft development model. The company's proposal is bold: design and build a modular jet that can adapt to a variety of training roles without the Ministry of Defense footing the upfront cost. Investors, they say, would foot the development costs in exchange for future flight hour contracts. The Hawk conundrum: few aircraft hold the same place in British aviation culture as the Hawk. The older T1 variant, introduced in the mid-1970s, has served the red arrows so well that many assumed it would always be around, streaking red, white, and blue blobs across the sky. But that assumption is no longer true. While still maneuverable and striking, the T1's maintenance costs have risen sharply, and critical components are becoming increasingly difficult to source. The T2, the RAF's advanced trainer, is not far behind on the retirement schedule. The UK must replace both, or risk a costly gap that forces pilot training on a frontline Typhoons or even F-35s, an inefficient and expensive use of advanced fighters. Some training has migrated overseas, raising concerns about the erosion of domestic expertise that a homegrown option founded in 2017. Aeralis aims to bring fast jet training back to British soil with an innovative modular aircraft concept. Rather than designing multiple jets for different roles, basic training, advanced training, aerobatics, the company proposes a single airframe that can be customized through interchangeable wings, engines, and avionics. Proponents say this approach could halve the fleet's long-term operating costs by combining maintenance, spares, and logistics under a common architecture. Crucially, Aeralis suggests it could move quickly if it receives formal recognition from the Ministry of Defense that its jet will meet the RAF's future training needs. That nod of confidence could unlock the private investment needed to complete development. In theory, the result would be a pay-as-you-go model. The government pays for the flying hours, while the aircraft itself is financed and owned by a third party. If successful, it would mark a departure from decades of complicated and often over-budget defense procurement practices.